Welcome back to the Popcorn Perspective. It's your host, AK and Jay. Dude, we have so much to talk about, and let's try and cram as much as we can into this episode. So I know we got some Thunderbolt dropping next week. We got some Star Wars Celebration you touched on recently. Andor Season 2. Ooh, that controversy though. And yeah, I also got a little anime that I started.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot going on this week, especially for like us Star Wars geeks. And then on top of that, the MCU side of things, we had the critics started releasing their reviews on Thunderbolts, which sounds fantastic, like you mentioned. So no, this week has been fun for us geeks, and especially leading into next week with Thunderbolts starting up, it's going to be a great couple of weeks.
I bet. And dude, okay, so I wasn't really on the Thunderbolt train, but dang, dude, it's
Are you finally
actually
on it? You
starting to
finally
look like a good movie.
so a lot of the effects, like the fighting, apparently is all like practical effects. Like Florence Pugh apparently jumped off of a tall ass skyscraper, doing a gun shooting scene. I was like, that's what MCU has been missing. It's kind of felt kind of flat because the CGI has been inside the volume which was used primarily for like the Mandalorian TV show. It's great in like a TV show setting, but not good in like a movie. Since everything has been a narrow 4x4, not 4x4 box, but like a small box, like setting for the volume to work. So I'm glad they were able to go outside and film outside and actually have the whole city as a playground versus a small box. It's kind of cool to see, and I can't wait to watch it.
Dude, I totally get it. And yeah, so CGI started off as just something to assist and make certain things look just a little bit cooler. But it became the entire MO for Marvel, and it had
Yeah.
become so saturated where any of us fans, we just got tired of it. It's like the same fight scenes over and over,
Like I
same white
wouldn't,
beam that goes up into the sky. It's like, come on, we can do
but I
more than
wouldn't even
this.
say just Marvel because if you remember the Hobbit movie compared to the original Lord of the Ring trilogy, it looked so bad because the over reliance on CGI versus practical effects. And I think the newer generation of filmmakers like Ryan Coogler, and hope hopefully whoever ends up pushing MCU further and the DC into the further with Gunn. Hopefully they continue using more practical effects. I know Gunn is big on practical effects. A lot of his movies, even though it's a lot of space themed movies, they use a lot. He tries his best to push in practical effects where necessary. So DC, I'm hoping is in good hands. I'm hoping MCU picks this up, seeing the Thunderbolts hypes and continues off with practical effects.
Totally, dude.
Yeah.
And what do you think is gonna happen in this movie? Any bold predictions?
Whew. I mean, I feel like in a movie like this, Marvel will have to kill at least one main character, at least to have that emotional pull to make us more invested in the story. Because let's
There's
be
definitely
real,
one
this is a
character we all think, right?
yeah, Taskmaster.
Yeah.
But because let's be real, like mine is like two characters, Yelena and Red Guardian. Everyone else has been kind of underutilized or forgettable.
You think they'd kill Bucky?
Okay, no, and Bucky. Sorry, not Bucky.
Okay.
But I mean, there was Ghost, there is Valentine, the one who's like organizing everything, and then there's Taskmaster, and obviously the Void is not going to die. He can't die in this movie, so he's living. But then that leaves you with who? Red Guardian, Black Widow, and Bucky. And those are the only three that's living, right? Or I feel like the other three are going to die. They're gonna get their
Okay.
moment to shine and die just so Marvel can like cut these actors loose.
This is a hot take. I don't know why I get a sneaky suspicion that Bucky will die.
I hope not.
I hope
I
not to.
mean,
I love
was his name
Sebastian Stan.
was his name in the Doomsday cast list? Hold on, I'm pulling it up. We got the Doomsday cast list here. I have it saved still. Let's see. Yeah, he's listed here. Sebastian Stan, White Wolf is listed.
It's the multiverse, bro.
Fair enough.
Who cares?
Yeah, yeah. Okay, fair enough. You might be right. Then he could die, come back in different universe, and have that weird pull in his universe, Cap live, whatever.
I hope they don't do that. I love Sebastian Stan, and I like the character.
Yeah, the amount
And
of
I'm
character
also curious
development.
to see the whole him running for Congress or Senate or whatever political power there
Oh
was in
yeah, he was
Falcon Winter
winning
Soldier.
in the Captain America movie,
Yeah.
which I'll be honest, I wasn't a fan of that plotline drop because
It
this
was so
guy,
forced. It was so
not
forced.
even that it was forced. This guy assassinated JFK based in MCU lore.
Yeah, but that's a conspiracy theory.
Sure, but
The government covered it up, bro.
Shield released all their data during the Hydra takeover.
That's Hydra. That's a terrorist organization. Come on.
We talk about how today's society and today's politics is hell. Imagine living in that with
Okay,
Hydra, with Red Skull, with
Can I tell you that? It's like, who cares if the government releases information? How many times has the government released information over this current administration and no one cares? It's like,
Oh yeah,
come on, bro. Yeah, no one cares.
no, damned if we do, but damned if they don't. Look at the whistleblower from WikiLeaks, Julian Assange.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, anyways, back on track.
Anyways, yeah, so
Yeah, so
we're super psyched for this movie. And if you have any theories on who's gonna die or maybe change in some way, definitely leave it in there. Let's see who's right.
I have a question. Do you think there's going to be any Doomsday implication? Because remember, this is the last MCU film before Doomsday. Sure, there's Fantastic Four, but Fantastic Four is a different universe.
Yeah, I
This
don't
is
think
the
so.
last MCU based film leading to Ken. You don't think any like maybe a post credit scene, maybe this movie ends kind of like how Ragnarok ends, where it leads you right into uh King Dynasty. No, no, King, apologies, Doomsday, where Doom arrives or something, and it just ends on that. Something just to like because remember MCU's on a low streak, and if they put this much faith in this movie, a random cast of characters like a Guardians of the Galaxy type of movie, you're gonna need a pull to have that word of mouth to keep people coming in to watch the movie. And Guardians of the
So
Galaxy had Thanos. Remember, he was in Thanos. He was Gamora's dad. He had a prominent role in that movie.
so I can see that happening just because of what you mentioned, trying to create a pull. I think it would be an afterthought rather than actually part of the story.
Fair enough.
So
Yeah, this movie has been in the works for quite some time, right? And then the writer strike happened, COVID, and all that. So yeah, no, I'm not sure if this was one of the reshot movies, or if this movie came after all the reshoots and all the MCU shakeups, but it looks good.
it
Hopefully, we
does.
get some kind of Doomsday, tie-in or something. But the critics seems to be enjoying it, so I'm hyped.
Yeah, I can't wait. And moving into another Disney property, Star Wars.
Whew. God, that Disney money is ridiculous. Did you see any of the photos or any of the like news drop that happened in Tokyo last week over the weekend?
Yeah, definitely looked it over and quite a few pretty big announcements, like Ryan Gosling joining the Star Wars family.
Okay.
That's awesome. Going from Barbie to Disney, like yeah, that's pretty cool.
I mean, yeah. I mean, they announced that they announced a Darth Maul animated TV show, a new Zero Company like clone troopers video game turn-based game, and the Mandalorian
Ashoka,
and Grogu movie.
yeah,
And yeah,
Ashoka
they Ahsoka season
announcements.
2, they recasted a character who passed away, unfortunately. So a lot of great big Star Wars news.
Yeah, and if
I
you're
know you're
Anakin
not the big
fans, there's gonna be a return of Little Annie, not Little Annie.
well, he's in theaters right now. 20-year anniversary for Revenge of the Sith in theaters right now. So if you want to support Darth Vader, and then on top of all of this, Andor season 2 drops a couple days ago. So it's been a lot for Star Wars fans. I know you're not the biggest fan of Star Wars, or like you're just behind on a lot. Of all the properties they announced, what are you looking forward to the most?
Yeah, so look, I'm a nerd. I really do love the original Star Wars. Like that was so beautiful, and I just like expanded my mind on science fiction and what's possible in the universe. So Star Wars has a very special place in my heart. Lately, though, it's been really hit and miss. I know for a fact they're doing an amazing job with Andor. I need to give it a shot. One
Yes.
of my most favorite movies over the last few have been Rogue One. I thought that was a really phenomenal movie. And I had watched Mandalorian season 1 and 2. I didn't get season 3. Boba Fett was boring for me. And what was it? Oh yeah, I tried watching Obi-Wan, but again, I just couldn't get into it. Ahsoka, same thing. It was good at times, but it was just tough for me to get into it. Could be
See,
my
that's
age, I
the
don't know.
no. I know what you mean because I actually love all the shows you mentioned. Even though, yeah, Boba Fett is not a good show. I'll be the first to declare that. But I enjoy the hell out of it. I mean, you get Boba Fett riding a Rancor, tearing up Tatooine. That's a badass fight scene with Din Djarin alongside. That's a fun ass finale. It's a dumb
Yeah.
show. Same as like Obi-Wan, same as Ashoka. They have a lot of issues, but I think a lot of casual TV or movie watchers, they don't understand that Star Wars has always been cheesy. It's always been like this since A New Hope with the random as band monkey guys playing the instruments with the elephant dude playing the trombone. It's always been wacky, random shit, and that's what this universe has always been about. But the thing is a lot of these characters you relies on a great like entry, right? Because you have the Clone Wars TV show, you have the Rebels TV show, that kind of makes you more comfortable for this random weird nonsense. So I think if you don't have that, like if you have not passed that barrier, it's hard to digest some of this cheesy random shit that I enjoy.
Yeah. I'm with you there, dude. Like I like the randomness. I like the cheesiness. It's. I think it's just. I can't tell
Too
if it's the
much.
pacing or if it's the characters just weren't captivating enough for me.
Well, it's
Um,
like with Ashoka, you don't know who she is. She's very stoic. She really doesn't have much emotion because of all the shit that she went through in the Clone Wars TV show and the Rebels TV show. Because this takes place after all of that, so she's had almost 10 years of development that you just don't understand. Same as like even the Obi-Wan TV show where it has a lot of issues. Same as even Boba Fett. All these characters had so much more development in the TV shows over 10 years versus you just coming in over a 2 hour movie when we had like 20 hours worth of content.
right, right.
Yeah,
And I think they're trying to figure out their audience.
yeah.
And I think it landed for some like you. It just didn't land for me. And
No,
the
definitely.
critics and reviews obviously show that it's pretty split on most of them. You're gonna find people who absolutely love it and people who absolutely hate it. I'm kind of in the middle, you know.
Yeah, and that's what I say.
Um,
I think the people who absolutely love it are the ones who actually sacrifice a lot of their time to watch everything they have to offer, which I definitely understand why you don't want to do that because that's one thing I think Marvel is learning in advance, learning from Star Wars is at first I feel like with Disney Plus they were trying to oversaturate the market, but then they realized it's too much for the casual audience to watch. So now you need to pull back on content and not double down on it because if you double down on it, how a guy like me who literally watches anything for fun might give up and might say, I'm behind 3 shows now. I don't have time to catch up.
Yeah, and you struck a really good point there where maybe a lot of the standalone stuff might actually do better. And for that reason, I actually think the Starfighter, the one with Ryan Gosling, I think that
Yes.
actually might be one of my more anticipated one. Just the way Rogue One was kind of a standalone. It had a few elements where it tied it in, but for the most part, new characters, new story. And for that reason, I think that one is the one I'm most looking forward to, the Starfighter.
No, that one sounds fantastic. I mean, you have Ken in Star Wars. I don't know who he's playing. I don't know what he's doing. Is he a pilot? Is he a fugitive on the run from like a starfighter unit? This is apparently after the sequel film, so this is way into the future of the Star Wars like universe. So it's gonna be interesting because I know the sequels were bad. I think we
Yeah, I
all can
think
agree
this
with
is
that.
like 5 years post Skywalker.
Yeah. So I wonder how they're
Yes.
gonna just handle the whole Rise of Skywalker nonsense because a lot of I feel like Disney's been afraid to tackle post Sky Rise of Skywalker just because of how bad it is. So yeah.
They've got to move
Um
forward, and I think this would be a good opportunity to do that.
no, definitely. And I know you're talking about the standalone Star Wars films. You know the director who did Logan, right? James Mangold.
Yeah,
He's also been developing for the past couple of years a Dawn of the Jedi prequel, like how the Jedi origin, like the Order was created and like the origin of
damn,
the Force.
that
So
would be
that's
so cool.
something that you would love. I feel
Yeah,
like you are gonna enjoy the shit out of that. But I
yeah,
guess I
no,
mean
that's.
outside of the Star Wars Celebration news, I think I mean moving right into further Star Wars news is Andor. Did you hear about that controversy?
I did, but since you actually watched it, why don't you take the lead on this?
Yeah, so this show is a very mature show, and I'm gonna go out of my way and address this now. Like sexual assault is nothing that needs to be gratified or nothing that needs to be showed on TV, like unless there's an implicit value or something to gain, not gain, but like a story or something to be developed out of it. And that's exactly what they're doing with the show. And I feel like this show, every single scene, every single thing, like dialogue, leads somewhere for any of the characters. And nothing happened to the character. She wasn't assaulted. She was in the process of being assaulted, but she fought back and killed the guy and ultimately was saved and, you know, the episode ended. Um, but I feel like people who are crying that this episode is like, rape or whatever should not be in Star Wars. I feel like they kind of gotta take a look back. Like this is an empire that are fascist, you know, killers who are committing genocide on multiple planets.
Hmm. So we're okay with genocide,
Yes.
but we draw the line at.
No, but that's not what I'm saying. It's like
No, I know. I'm just kidding.
this is bound to happen. Like when you
Yeah, it
have
is.
an
It's a
unchecked
universe,
army,
right?
when you have an unchecked army of power hungry militants. Yeah.
Corruption is bound to happen. I totally agree. Yeah.
And the thing is I was reading online, like on Reddit and on like on Twitter, X, whatever. People were saying Darth Vader loved his wife, and he would never. I'm like, that's the same guy who killed multiple kids. That's the same guy who literally choked his wife when she thought, or he thought she was betraying him to Obi-Wan. It just, I feel like a lot of fan base needs to take a step back and realize this is a dark show, and it's going to portray dark stuff.
Yeah. It's really tough because you're
Yeah.
right. As long as it's part of a story, it should be fine. But I can empathize that sometimes you want to escape your own realities. And for a lot of people, shows and movies, that's where they find that escapism.
Hmm.
So keep the fiction. We don't need a certain level of realism. And that's what I'm saying. I'm just trying to empathize with people
Yeah,
who
no,
might
100%.
find that as unnecessary. So I'm going to be political here and say I can see it both ways.
No, I 100% can see it both ways. Like, if this was mid-season Game of Thrones level of gratuitous nudity where it just didn't go anywhere and it was just pointless level of like, let's just show a dick for the sake of a dick, or let's just show a rape for the sake of a rape scene, then I understand. That I even in Game of Thrones, I was like, some of these scenes we did not need. It
Yeah.
was unnecessary and it just was just cruel and unnecessary. This I can tell is going somewhere. Now,
Yeah.
if two episodes on the line, it's still nothing's, it doesn't haunt the character, it doesn't, weigh on her, and it just was a throwaway plot point for an action scene to happen, then yeah, I'll come back and say it's not necessary. But as of now, it seems like it's leading somewhere. So
Okay.
that's where I'm not in favor of the scene itself, but I understand why it's there.
Yeah. Yeah. Fair. Um,
And I mean, the first episode of season one literally starts off with the main character killing two cops outside of a brothel. That's what kind of show this is.
that's
It's a
that's
pretty
not cool.
fucked up world Andor like has created inside Star Wars bubble. So that's unfortunate. It's a great show though. Definitely watch it. If you want more grittier, realistic Star Wars.
For sure. Is there anything else that you're watching? Anything maybe a little bit less intense?
Lighter, yeah, a little more happy, a little more. I'm not right now. I mean, outside of Andor, I think I'm not watching much now. I think what show did we just finish watching?
Severance? That was a good one.
Daredevil, Severance, Paradise. I think outside of that, all I'm looking for now is Thunderbolts. I know Night of the Seven Kingdoms, the new HBO Game of Thrones TV show comes out soon. Outside of that, I don't know what else comes out.
Nice. There's this new anime I started. I think you'd actually really like it. It's called a Vinland Saga.
Hmm,
So it's on Netflix. Two seasons are out. There is
I heard of it.
anticipation of a third season, but apparently with the second season, it actually concludes it relatively well. Um, so no special abilities or powers in this universe. It's actually about the Vikings back when they were trying to raid England. And with our main character, something happens to him and his family, and he's basically on this vengeance path. But the person who did whatever to his family, you actually start rooting. It's you. It's a
Wait, what?
really, dude. I don't know. It's a
So
really
you end up
well,
rooting for the one who killed the protagonist fam.
maybe not rooting for him.
That
So
must be some skilled
again,
writing.
he's a very complex character. That's the
I
thing,
like that. I like that.
and not everything is at face value in the show. So you, they've actually done a really good job with developing this, and it
What's
is
the animation style on
historical.
this?
It's Japanese anime,
Okay.
um,
'Cause
though
I still,
I
I'm
would
like,
highly recommend it. It's definitely a show where it doesn't have a lot of the anime quirks where there's like a
okay,
super annoying character or the women
okay,
talk with
okay,
like
yeah.
an overly sexual tone, like nothing like that. It's actually a very straightforward, story driven anime. I would highly recommend it.
Because I was actually, once I finished watching Andor in a couple of weeks, I was actually planning to start watching Attack on Titans. Between this or
Ooh,
that, which one do you recommend?
okay.
And
Oh, I
everyone keeps telling me Attack
haven't
on Titans is a must, is a must, is a must. So I was
I
like, you know what?
haven't seen Attack on the Titan, so I cannot
Oh,
say.
yeah, not. Okay.
Again, people have told me it's good. Apparently, one of the seasons there's a pretty big drop off. I can't remember which one.
Hmm.
Um,
That sucks when that happens.
I feel like you love history and you would actually really appreciate this one.
Okay. How about this? Andor, I have a week to the next three episodes drop. I'll start watching the episodes maybe tomorrow. I have nothing going
Yeah.
on. I'm off work, so. It's on
uh,
Netflix, you said?
yeah, Netflix.
Okay. I might
Yeah.
give it a shot.
I like the voice actor for the main character. Obviously, when he grows up, it's the
Yeah.
same guy from Solo Leveling. So,
I know this for you
um,
recommending.
yeah,
Yes, yeah.
yeah.
Um, is this dubbed or should I watch it subbed?
Watch it in English. Yeah, watch it dubbed.
Watch it. Okay.
They do a
Okay.
good job. Yeah,
Okay, cool. Okay, good.
yeah,
Yeah, because that's another issue is it's hard. It's hard sometimes watching a language you're not used to while reading subtitles. So you're trying to like catch all the quirks and all the, emotions or the high, the way of, a voice with implicit like emotion. But it's hard to do when you're trying to read the subtitles and trying to follow the animation. And
dude, I totally get it.
yeah,
I'm not a very quick reader, so I have to always go back and then see what happened. But
I'm glad it's not
if
me.
you consider one episode as a book, you could just tell mom or anyone, like, oh yeah, I read like seven. I read 7 books today.
I did used to read manga when I was like younger, back in
Yeah.
like elementary school and all that. And I used to consider those books all the time. Like, yeah, it's 3 books right here. I read it in like 2 days.
Oh man, the only two mangas that I read were Dragon Ball because
Okay.
I love
Yeah.
Dragon Ball and Bleach. Yeah, those are the only two.
Oh wow. Did you ever watch the TV the Bleach show?
Oh my god, yes.
How
Yeah.
did you?
Out of the
I've heard
big
those were
three,
good.
so I'm sure you already know the tier. Dragon Ball is like the grandfather of all anime.
I did not
Um,
know that.
and
Okay.
then the big three came after Dragon Ball, which was Naruto, One Piece, and Bleach. Um, Out of the big three, One Piece is considered probably the best because it's the longest running. It's still continuing. Naruto is considered second best, but people popularity wise, I think have it higher. And Bleach is always considered the third or the least favorite out of the three. For me, Bleach was my favorite.
Did you ever
That was
watch
mine.
Naruto growing up?
Yeah, yeah, I did. I watched
Yeah.
that and Shippuden, so I did the
Okay,
complete
okay. So you
series.
actually
Yeah,
finished it. Okay, because
yeah.
I watched quite a lot of Naruto when I was younger, but
It's so repetitive. Oh my god.
well, I
That's
gave
the part
up.
that pissed me off about Naruto.
I gave up when that big ass batch of like just straight filler was
Filler?
happening. So
Yeah.
it was like right after like amazing Sasuke versus Naruto fight, and I was like, man,
Yeah,
it was a great episode.
there's
And then
okay. Dude, I would say if you reach that far, just go ahead and watch Shippuden. Shippuden
I don't
is
remember what happened. I don't know
ah
where the characters left. I haven't seen the show since like maybe
yeah. I feel
sixth
like if
grade,
you don't finish
fifth
Shippuden,
grade.
you won't actually appreciate Naruto.
Yeah,
Um,
because
they
then
do
there's
a very
also
good Shippuden.
Boruto, right? Like his son or
Boruto,
something.
God,
Boruto.
no, don't do that. Don't
Oh.
push yourself through that.
Because I'm trying to break my anti-anime bubble. Like I'm
Yeah.
trying to. It's hard. I mean,
Watch Vinland Saga. I really
okay,
think that's up your alley.
okay. Because my biggest complaint always with anime is the protagonist is always annoying and it's over dramatic. And
Yeah,
some
I
of
can
the
see that.
plots they could take themselves more seriously, and I feel like they like to joke around a lot more, like with a lot of unnecessary stupid gags. Same issue I had with Avatar the TV show, which I
Did you watch
understand.
One Punch Man?
No,
Okay, that's a really short anime, and
I've heard of that, but I have
it's
not seen it.
it's a really dumb concept that he can win with just one punch, but it's actually pretty fun.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I know there's a whole category of anime I'm not touched, and I know there gotta be something out there I'd appreciate or I'd like, because a billion different animes out there. You telling me I can't like one of them? There's probably one I like, but I just haven't found that groove yet, and I am
Yeah,
definitely willing to break that bubble and continue trying again because, yeah, I'm bored.
yeah. Definitely give Vinland Saga at least 8 episodes. I would say. I think that's when
Okay.
it really gets into its flow. The first four are when he's a kid, so there's not
Well,
much
how
you can
about
do.
this? If I start watching Saga over the next couple of days, you better start watching Andor. I know you're a whole season
Season
behind.
one.
I don't care. You're a whole season behind. I can't say they're easy to watch because they are long episodes, like 45 to an hour long, but watch it.
All right, I'll run it up chain of command. Well, I'll try and get there.
Hey, don't worry about her, man. Just watch the new laptop. No, this you have to watch on the big screen. It
I
is
know
a
you have
beautiful
to.
show. It's a
You have
beautiful
to.
show. But yeah, if you do start, let me know. But yeah, outside of that, I have no other, I guess, news or things I'm interested in over the next couple of days. What about you?
Hmm.
I think we covered everything.
Nah. Thunderbolts, man, that's a big one.
Oof. Watch it just be one of the worst movies ever. Watch it be like a Quantumania. I'm
We've
telling
had
you,
some. We've dealt with some shit movies, man.
but I feel like the last year with the MCU has been good. I mean, we've had Daredevil, we've had
I'm done with the movies. Really.
okay, we
The
had
TV shows have been
Deadpool,
actually pretty good. Some have been pretty good.
we've had Deadpool and Wolverine last year.
Yeah, but we also year prior to that we had Spider-Man. I thought that was really good. No way.
Yeah, we had Doctor Strange, which I thought was alright. I thought it was fun.
Yeah, Doctor Strange was fine. Yeah,
It
it was
wasn't
pretty
great. It
solid.
wasn't bad. Yeah, it was
Like
just fun.
compared to the rest, it was pretty solid.
I mean, yeah. I think the worst ones we've had, honestly, movie-wise, was honestly
Thor, Love and
Quantumania
Thunder,
and Thor,
and
yeah,
Quantum
Love and
Mania.
Thunder. But
Yeah,
everything else has been very tolerable, or like just like acceptable.
I
But I
know,
think,
but
but I think
man,
that
when you
people are
pay 20
missing
bucks
is
for a ticket, we deserve better than acceptable.
well, no, no, not even just that. Nothing's tied together because even with the Phase Two, there's a lot of misses with Phase Two. We had like Iron Man 2, we had Thor 2. Those were pretty bad movies. We had Guardians of the Galaxy that had nothing to do with that phase. But when you accumulate it all together in like a group up movie, that way everybody can explore the trauma together, it works out. We have all these characters that scattered around that has no idea what's going on with the other groups, and like Daredevil literally ended with Kingpin becoming the mayor, breaking out of his Kingpin like persona, like full on Kingpin, and creating a anti-vigilante task force who's basically just shooting people on the streets. That's how Daredevil ends. So like,
So like he's like deporting them to Ecuador or something?
no, he's just shooting them.
Oh, okay.
Shoot first,
So
ask
it's
questions
better.
later.
It's better.
Yeah,
Some
exactly.
people would say it's better.
He does have a cage that he in his lair of people that he's kidnapped. I'm not even kidding. He literally has a cage that people are literally living in cages. Like this is how like fucked up of a show this is, and yet nothing about this is going to. How is this going to impact Thunderbolts? Because Thunderbolts take place in New York City. Where is
I
Spider Man?
agree.
And that's the
Yeah.
issue. Is you have these big stake events, but the outside heroes are just AFK. Because like, where is Spider Man? My man, like he's literally killing vigilantes. You're a vigilante. Where you at, bro? Like
He's at MIT. He's in Boston, right? Probably in
he
Boston at
never
that time.
went. He
Oh,
never
he
went.
never
He
went.
erased his persona. Peter Parker doesn't exist in the
Right,
records,
right, right.
so he couldn't get accepted. Everyone else did. And then on top of that, like, where is Kate Bishop? She lives in New York City. Where is Hawkeye? He lives close to New York. Where is Kamala Khan? She lives in New York
Wait,
or New
Hawkeye?
Jersey.
Doesn't he live on a farm or something?
He lives in a farm. But in Hawkeye, they drove from New York, from Christmas Eve all the way to his home on Christmas Day. So it must have been like a 10. It would be between a 5 to 10 hour drive.
Ooh, but it could
So
have been a Christmas miracle.
I'm just trying to put logic to it. Like you have a bunch of these heroes all around the New York area. Where y'all at? Why, why is why is it just the Punisher and Daredevil killing people? Like, come on, Spider-Man. Like, I know you're mourning, Aunt May and your girl for breaking up with you, but like, yeah, I gotta put the suit back on, man. And I think that's the issue MCU has ran into. I know I rambled on there for a while, but it's an issue MCU needs to solve is more cohesive storylines.
Yeah, I think they'll get there.
I mean, what
Maybe.
Century? You have Century slash the Void now in New York City. The next movie.
Dude, I feel so bad for New York City. But at least they're not invincible, like living in that universe. Because
But
they're going to
imagine
get
the
demolished.
oh yeah, 1,000 times over. But imagine the insurance in New York
Oh,
City.
God.
Oof, let's talk about
Okay,
stressful.
at that point, just freaking leave New York City. Surely,
Yeah, this
come on.
at this point, New York City should just be an abandoned like city, overgrown. Like that'd be a badass arena to fight then. You have an overgrown like foresty jungle New York City that's abandoned due to the Loki invasion. What happened in Thunderbolts? What happened with Mayor Fisk? Might as well have fun with this, man. Just have fun, MCU. We can do it. The comics do it all the time. They have fun with this stuff.
Alright, dude, do you have anything else?
No, outside of that mini ramble, no, I'm good.
Yeah, definitely let us know what you felt you should ramble more upon in the comments. Tell us why we're
Yeah,
wrong.
you heard my issues with anime. Let me know. Is Vinland Saga a good place to start? Any other anime recommendations? Let me know down below.
Alright, peace.
Peace.